Breiden, for you, man, what's it like to finally be able to get out on the field and you know you're going to be playing this season?
It's been awesome. I'm excited. It's been a long time coming, a humbling experience, but more than anything, it's just been awesome to get out there with the guys again and start running around.
Yeah, I mean, for you, how exciting to be a part of a D line that has some guys coming back, but also lost some playmakers, and you know that your impact's going to be felt right away.
Well, I think just being around the older guys last year with the leadership they had, Greg, Locke, Frank, just being around those guys every day last year really set the tone and just really set the bar high for me. And of course, Rashard. Rashard's the guy around here. Being around him, it really helps elevate my game. I ask him for tips. I ask him, on things that I should look for as a player. And just being a part of this D-line has been a blessing ultimately.
If we hadn't seen you play yet, and I haven't, what is your game like? What do you take pride in out there on the field?
As a younger player, I really took pride in just being real energetic, just letting the flow of the game really take a part of me. But as I've gotten older now, I try to look at the game more mentally than anything, watching more film, understanding the game as a whole concept on what teams like to do. And so, studying a lot has been a really big part of my game plan, and that's just what I'm looking forward to do this season.
Talk about learning from the veterans like Rashad and Greg. What are some of the things that keyed into your game? Like what aspects of your game did they really help you develop?
Just what to look for. Like I said, being that football's a mental game now more than anything. I think Greg, Rashard, and Christian really helped me to understand what I needed to do, especially coming to the SEC. It was a big jump for me, and I'm glad I got to redshirt last year and learn under those guys. I think a lot of players, young players nowadays, really want to get into the water and test it out at first. But just learning how to understand how things are ran differently here, how to play your technique a lot better, has really helped me a lot develop as a player.
How challenging is it to go to practice and practice hard every day when you know you're not going to play?
It was tough. It was humbling. I think it really got me better as a man more than a player. Knowing to bring your hard hat to work every day and knowing that on Saturday when the team travels and you're at home watching the game from your living room is really humbling. But it really made me hungry as a player and just ready to get back on the field. And I learned so much last year from great coaches like Coach Pete, Coach Johnson, Coach O, of course. And then, the players really just made it easier to just practice hard last year because they set the bar high.
What are you seeing so far playing alongside Glenn Logan and Rashard? How good can you guys be collectively in the trenches, do you think?
I think the bar is how high we want to set it, honestly. I think there's no ceiling right now to what we want to do as a defensive lineman. I think the more we come together and the more we can bond as a group, the strength of our D-line will go. And we're only as strong as our weakest link. So, right now we're getting all the guys on board. Rashard has done a great job of doing that. And I think that, as we continue to bond and continue to mold together as a defensive lineman, there's no telling what we can do, what we can achieve.
What have you learned being around Dave Aranda for a year?
Smart football. Just a really, really smart coach. How to dissect offenses, and I think that's a reflection of Devin White. You look at how Devin surveys the field as a field general for our defense. I've learned so much playing in front of Devin and what he looks for, how he sets the fronts, how he adjusts us. He lets us know where the play is going, and I think that's an attribute to Coach Aranda and how well he is as a coach. How he watches film, how he breaks down teams, the fronts we're in for the type of game we're playing. I've really learned so much from him.
And that's the whole concept, right, is if you make tackles, great, but your guy's job is to eat up space. So 40 or whatever number he's going to wear this year is going to make plays.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I think a lot of people get it mistaken as a D lineman. People want to see flash and people want to see big-time plays. I mean, they're used to it. I mean, you look at Glenn Dorsey, one of the most decorated defensive linemen coming out of LSU, just a dominant force. But I think the game's changed a lot. And I look at the fronts we run, it's unselfish. You have to be unselfish. You have to play the blocks. You have to eat up those blocks. I mean, if Devin doesn't get the 10 or 12 tackles we need a game, we need those tackles more than anything. And so when I see Devin making a tackle for loss or a sack, I can say to myself, I'm smiling because I know I did my job and he did his job. It's everybody does their job and everybody's happy at the end of the day.